The canvas screamed back at him, a slash of crimson bleeding into the gray haze of a Brooklyn dawn, as if the paint itself knew the secret he'd buried deeper than his father's old war medals in the attic. "You're not my son anymore," his father's voice echoed from 3 years ago, gravelly and final, the day Alex came out over cold Thanksgiving turkey in their upstate cabin. Those words had carved him hollow, leaving only the sharp edge of a palette knife to fill the void. Now, in the dim light of his cramped Williamsburg studio, Alex Rivers wiped the sweat from his brow, his hands trembling not from the chill seeping through the cracked window, but from the realization that every stroke he made was a confession he couldn't voice aloud. He'd fled Rochester after that Thanksgiving, the weight of his family's silence heavier than the backpack stuffed with sketchbooks and dreams. New York had promised reinvention, a city of jagged skylines and anonymous crowds where a 25-year-old could vanish into the hum of possibility. But reinvention was a lie. It was just survival with better lighting. Alex had scraped by on barista shifts at a hipster cafe in Bushwick, slinging oat milk lattes to influencers who mistook his quiet intensity for brooding artistry. His own work, piles of unfinished portraits in the corner, faces of strangers he'd captured on the subway, haunted eyes, half-smiles that hid the grind of rent checks and unspoken aches. He painted what he saw, but never what he felt, especially not the flutter in his chest when a customer's gaze lingered too long. That flutter ignited into a wildfire the night he met Jordan Hale at the annual Brooklyn Art Walk. The streets pulsed with fairy lights strung between brownstones, galleries spilling laughter and cheap wine onto the sidewalks. Alex had wandered in on a whim, his sketchpad tucked under his arm like a shield, drawn by the throb of live jazz from a converted warehouse. Inside, the air hummed with the scent of turpentine and ambition, walls alive with canvases that bled color like open wounds. He was nursing a plastic cup of Merlot, sketching the curve of a woman's jawline from across the room, when a voice cut through the murmur like a brushstroke on silk. "You're capturing her regret perfectly. The way her mouth twists, like she's swallowing words she regrets not saying." Alex's pencil froze midline. He looked up into eyes the color of storm-tossed Atlantic, framed by tousled dark hair that fell just so, as if styled by the wind off the East River. The man, tall, lean, with a jawline sharp enough to cut glass and a smile that promised both mischief and mercy, leaned against a pillar, a half-empty beer in hand. He wore a faded black Keys tee under a leather jacket, sleeves rolled to reveal forearms etched with faint ink from late-night tattoos. Alex's throat tightened. Yeah, it's the eyes that get me. They hold everything." He forced the words out, his Midwestern drawl clashing with the man's easy Brooklyn cadence. Up close, Jordan Hale was even more disarming, 32, openly gay, and already a rising star in the city's queer art scene. Alex had overheard whispers. Jordan's last show at the Queer Collective in Chelsea had sold out, his portraits of marginalized lovers celebrated for their raw vulnerability. "I'm Jordan," he said, extending a hand calloused from years of gripping brushes. "And you?" The ghost sketching in the shadows. "Alex." Their palms met, and it was electric. Not the cliché spark of rom-coms, but a grounding jolt, like roots finding soil after a drought. Jordan's grip lingered a beat too long, his thumb brushing Alex's knuckles in a way that sent heat coiling low in Alex's belly. They talked for hours, the crowd fading to a blur. Jordan shared stories of his own closets. Kicked out at 17 by a preacher father in Alabama. Hitchhiking north with nothing but a duffel and defiance. "Art saved me," he said, eyes distant. "It's the one place I could scream without my voice cracking." Alex nodded, the echo of his own silences ringing true. For the first time, he let slip fragments. The cabin fights, the prayers his mother whispered like apologies. The way painting felt like exhaling after holding his breath for years. By midnight, they were on the rooftop of the gallery. The city sprawled below like a glittering confession. Jordan pulled out a joint, the flame of his lighter casting shadows that danced across his face. "To hidden hearts," he toasted, passing it over. Alex inhaled, the smoke curling like unspoken desires. Their shoulders brushed, and when Jordan turned, his gaze was a question Alex hadn't known he was ready to answer. The kiss came soft at first, a tentative press of lips tasting of weed and wine. Then deeper, Jordan's hand cupping Alex's neck as if he were a canvas worth every careful stroke. It was Alex's first real kiss, stolen under a canopy of stars obscured by city haze, and it unraveled him like thread from a spool. In the weeks that followed, their worlds intertwined like vines on a fire escape. Jordan's loft in Greenpoint became Alex's sanctuary, a sun-flooded space cluttered with half-finished oils and Polaroids of lovers past pinned to brick walls. Jordan taught him to loosen his lines, to let color bleed without apology. "You're too controlled," he'd tease, dipping his fingers in cerulean and smearing it across Alex's cheek during late-night sessions. "Life's messy, babe. Paint like you're fighting for it." Alex bloomed under the attention, his sketches evolving into bold portraits that captured Jordan's laugh lines, the scar above his eyebrow from a bar fight in his wilder days. They wandered the city hand in hand when shadows hid them. Picnics in Prospect Park, stolen glances over falafel in Astoria, building a fragile empire of inside jokes and whispered promises. But fragility has cracks. Alex's family called once, his mother's voice thin as onion skin. "Your father's sick, Alex. Cancer. Come home." The words landed like a gut punch, yanking him back to the cabin's sterile quiet. He hadn't told Jordan yet. Not the full weight of the estrangement, the way disowned tasted like ash. That night, as they lay tangled in sheets scented with linseed oil, Alex traced Jordan's spine with tentative fingers. "I love you," he murmured, the words a leap off a cliff. Jordan stilled, then rolled to face him, eyes fierce with something deeper than lust. "I love you too, Alex. More than the colors I chase." It was a vow, sealed in the dim glow of a bedside lamp, but vows in New York are as fleeting as subway signals. The first fracture came subtly, a hairline in porcelain. Jordan's ex, Marcus, a silver-tongued curator with a penthouse in Soho, slithered back into the picture during prep for Jordan's next show. "Just business," Jordan assured, brushing off Alex's unease with a kiss. But Alex saw the late texts lighting up Jordan's phone, the way Marcus's name lingered like smoke. He buried it in his work, pouring doubt into a portrait of Jordan. Eyes shadowed, mouth curved in a smile that didn't reach. Jordan loved it, hung it in the loft's entryway. "It's me, Raw," he said. Alex forced a nod, the irony bitter. He'd painted the truth Jordan refused to see. As autumn leaves turned Prospect Park to fire, Alex's father's condition worsened. Hospital visits blurred into guilt-soaked drives up I-87. The cabin now a vigil of beeping monitors and unspoken regrets. "I was wrong," his father rasped one rain-lashed afternoon, hand frail in Alex's. "About everything." Tears stung, but forgiveness felt like a brush too heavy for the canvas. Back in the city, Jordan waited with takeout and open arms, but the distance grew. Alex's silence is thicker, Jordan's absences justified by gallery deadlines. "We're solid," Jordan promised over whiskey in a dive bar off Bedford, clinking glasses to chase away the chill. Alex wanted to believe it, clung to the warmth of Jordan's laugh like a lifeline. Yet doubt is a persistent shadow. One evening, rifling through Jordan's sketchbooks for charcoal, Alex found them. Preliminary studies for the show, faces that mirrored his own. The curve of his jaw, the freckles dusting his nose, even the scar from a childhood bike crash on his collarbone. But twisted, anonymized into archetypes of the broken queer boy, stripped of name and specificity. His stomach churned. These weren't tributes. They were thefts, his vulnerabilities commodified for applause. Confrontation brewed, but love is a blindfold. And Alex tied it tighter, whispering prayers into Jordan's hair as they made love by candlelight. Winter crept in with a vengeance, snow blanketing the bridges like forgotten apologies. Jordan's opening loomed, a glittering affair at a Tribeca space, critics buzzing about his exploration of fractured intimacies. Alex helped hang the pieces, his hands steady despite the storm inside. The night arrived in a flurry of flashbulbs and flutes of champagne. Jordan shone, magnetic in a tailored vest, pulling Alex into corners for stolen kisses amid the throng. "This is ours," he breathed, gesturing to the walls alive with their shared ghosts. But as the crowd thinned, Marcus approached, all sleek charm and knowing smirks. "Your boys amuse," he purred to Alex, clinking glasses. Jordan always did know how to mine the pain. Alex's smile fractured. Later, alone in the loft, the betrayal unfurled like a bad reveal. Jordan confessed over tears. "I needed the edge, the realness you give me. Zart, Alex, it's us, immortalized. Us." Felt like dissection, his heart splayed for strangers. "You painted pieces of me without asking," Alex whispered, voice breaking. "What about the whole?" The argument escalated, words flying like flung pallets. Accusations of using, of hiding, of loving too fiercely to see straight. Jordan stormed out into the night, leaving Alex amid shattered glass and smeared canvases. Days blurred into a haze of unanswered calls. Alex haunting the loft like a specter, repainting over the portraits with furious blacks and grays. His father's death came then. A quiet rattle in the cabin, Alex arriving too late for goodbyes. The funeral was a blur of black suits and Bible verses, his mother clutching his hand with desperate forgiveness. "He loved you, always," she said. Alex nodded, but the hollow echoed louder. Back in Brooklyn, Jordan returned, disheveled, eyes red-rimmed from whatever solace Marcus offered. "I fucked up," he admitted, collapsing to his knees. "You're not a muse. You're my everything." They clung then, raw and reconciling, but trust is a fragile medium, easily cracked. Spring thawed the streets, but not the chill between them. Alex's own show approached, a small collective in Red Hook, his portraits finally bold enough to breathe. Jordan promised to come, to stand beside him. The gallery in Red Hook smelled of fresh varnish and salt air from the nearby docks. A converted shipping container turned temple to the overlooked. Alex's pieces hung under track lighting. Portraits of subway strangers, barflies, and lovers in repose. Each face a mosaic of resilience amid the city's grind. He'd titled the show Echoes Unpainted, a quiet nod to the heart he'd kept veiled. Critics trickled in, murmuring approvals that felt like distant thunder. But Alex's eyes scanned the door, pulse syncing with the distant hum of ferries. Jordan arrived late, slipping through the crowd like smoke. Hair windswept, jacket slung over one shoulder, a bottle of Prosecco dangling from his fingers. "You did it?" he said, pulling Alex into a hug that pressed too close, too public for the knot still twisting in Alex's gut. Whispers rippled. Jordan Hale at a nobody's show. Heads turned, phones discreetly angled. Alex stiffened, the warmth warring with wariness. "Glad you made it," he managed, voice steady as he poured them drinks. They circulated together, Jordan's charisma drawing admirers like moths, his hand possessive on Alex's lower back. For a moment it felt like before them against the world, art as their armor. But armor cracks under scrutiny. Midway through, Marcus materialized, all polished edges and predatory grace, champagne flute in hand. "Darling Alex," he drawled, air-kissing cheeks with theatrical flair. "Your work's got that Hale influence, raw, unfiltered. He's rubbing off on you." The implication hung, laced with venom. Jordan tensed beside Alex, but said nothing, his silence a betrayal sharper than words. Alex's laugh came forced, brittle. "It's all mine, Marcus. No rub-offs needed." The curator's eyes gleamed, undeterred. "Of course. But inspiration's a two-way street. Jordan's show? It sang because of you." He winked, vanishing into the throng, leaving poison in the air. The barb lodged deep. Later, as guests dwindled and the Prosecco flowed looser, Alex cornered Jordan in the back storage room amid stacked crates and drop cloths. "What the hell was that?" he hissed, the door clicking shut behind them. Jordan's face crumpled, defensive. "Marcus is an asshole. Don't let him in your head." But Alex was already there, doubts multiplying like shadows at dusk. "He's right, though. My edges, you sharpen them, but at what cost? Am I just your echo now?" Jordan reached for him, fingers grazing Alex's arm. "No, you're the fire, Alex." "I." A crash from the main room shattered the moment, shouts, the clatter of glass. They burst out to chaos. A canvas toppled, red wine pooling like blood across the floor, and in the center, Marcus grappling with a burly critic, faces flushed with rage. "Plagiarist!" the critic bellowed, jabbing a finger at Jordan. "Your show's just recycled pain from this kid's soul. Admit it." The room froze, eyes darting. Alex's stomach plummeted. Rumors had festered, whispers of overlap between their styles turning to outright accusations. Jordan paled, stepping forward. "That's bullshit. My work's mine." But the damage bloomed. Phones buzzed with fresh posts. Grainy pics of the scuffle, captions slicing like scalpels. Art theft or muse mishap. Alex's show, meant to be his breakthrough, curdled into spectacle. He knelt to write the fallen piece, a portrait of his mother, eyes soft with unspoken love, wine staining her dress like tears. Jordan knelt beside him, murmuring apologies, but Alex pulled away. "This is what happens when you paint with borrowed hearts," he whispered, voice raw. The night ended in cleanup and cab rides home, silence thick as fog between them. Dawn broke gray over the East River, Alex nursing coffee in the loft while Jordan slept off the hangover of humiliation. He scrolled the feeds, vitriol piling like snow. Trolls dissecting similarities in brushwork, armchair experts claiming Jordan's evolution traced straight to Alex's sketchbooks. It wasn't theft, not legally, art's a thief by nature, but ethically? Gutted him. The pieces Jordan had borrowed weren't just lines. They were Alex's fractures, the loneliness of upstate winters, the ache of a father's rejection. Immortalized, yes, but without consent they felt like exposure, a public flaying. He confronted Jordan at noon, over half-eaten bagels and the wreckage of last night's clothes strewn like battlefield debris. "I need space," Alex said, words measured as incisions. Jordan's eyes widened, fork clattering to the plate. "Space? After everything? Babe, it's noise. It's truth." Alex's voice cracked, the dam breaking. He spilled it all. The fear that their love was canvas deep, that Jordan loved the muse more than the man. The way Marcus's shadow loomed, a reminder of patterns unbroken. "You used me, Jordan. Not maliciously, maybe, but you did. And now the world's seeing my scars before I even show them myself." Jordan recoiled as if slapped, then surged forward, gripping Alex's hands. "I was lost without you, inspired by you. It's love, not larceny." Tears streaked his cheeks, mirroring Alex's own. They argued until exhaustion claimed them, collapsing into a heap on the rug, bodies entwined in truce but minds adrift. The rift widened in the following weeks, a slow tectonics shift. Alex sublet a subpar room in Bed-Stuy, walls thin as promises, crashing on a futon amid strangers' snores. He threw himself into revisions for the show, scrubbing wine stains and repainting with defiant vigor, adding layers of gold to the shadows, claiming his light. Jordan texted apologies laced with pleas, flowers arriving like olive branches, but Alex replied in monosyllables, rebuilding walls brick by painful brick. His mother visited once, bearing Tupperware of pierogies and tentative questions about that nice boy from the photos. Alex deflected, the wound too fresh. Meanwhile, Jordan's star dimmed under the scandal's glare. Galleries pulled pieces, sponsors ghosted. He drowned it in dives and doubts, Marcus circling like a shark scenting blood. One night, Alex's phone lit with a call from an unknown number. Jordan's voice, slurred and shattered from a bar in the village. "He took everything," Jordan sobbed. "Marcus, he leaked the sketches, twisted them to make me the villain. Come back, please." Alex's heart clenched, the pull magnetic. He cabbed downtown, finding Jordan slumped on a curb, rain mingling with tears. They stumbled to a motel, cheap neon buzzing like a migraine. And there in the dim, Alex forgave. Not fully, but enough to hold him through the night, whispers weaving fragile threads. Morning brought clarity's cruel edge. Over diner eggs, Jordan confessed the full betrayal. Marcus, jealous of their bond, had swiped photos from Jordan's phone during a consult, feeding them to blogs with fabricated narratives. "He wanted me broken," Jordan said, voice hollow. To prove I'm nothing without him. Alex listened, anger surging not at Jordan, but at the toxicity that preyed on their vulnerabilities. We're not his pawns, he said, hand over Jordan's. But we can't rebuild on ruins. They parted with a kiss tasting of resolve. Therapy sessions booked, boundaries sketched like new compositions. Summer scorched the city, humidity turning streets to steam baths. Alex's revised show reopened to quiet acclaim, the scandal's echo fading to footnote. Critics praised his authentic voice, blind to the forge of pain behind it. Jordan attended every night, a shadow in the back, eyes proud and pained. They dated tentatively, coffee in McCarran Park, sketches shared over picnics, rebuilding trust stroke by stroke. Laughter returned, tentative at first, then full-throated, echoing off brownstone walls. But love's not linear. It's a spiral, looping back on itself. One sweltering August evening, as fireflies danced over the Gowanus, Jordan proposed a joint project. A dual show, hearts entwined. Their stories interwoven without erasure. Alex hesitated, the old fear flickering. No borrowing, he stipulated. Only giving. Jordan nodded, sealing it with a vow under the stars. They worked side by side in the loft. Now theirs again, palettes mingling like lives. Yet beneath the harmony, tremors stirred. Alex's mother called with news. A family cabin sale, inheritance papers needing signatures. Your father's will. He left it to you, Alex. The whole place. Shock rippled. The cabin, symbol of fracture, now his. He drove up alone, keys jangling like accusations, the Adirondacks unfolding in emerald waves. Inside, dust motes danced in sunbeams, his old room a time capsule of boyhood sketches. In the attic, amid moth-eaten boxes, he found them. His father's hidden journals, pages filled with regret-scrawled entries. Lost my boy to my fear. God forgive me. Tears came unbidden, a catharsis long overdue. Forgiveness, he realized, wasn't absolution. It was release. Returning to the city, lighter, Alex shared the journals with Jordan over candlelit pasta. Hearts hide, but they heal, he said. Jordan listened, then pulled out his latest canvas. A portrait of Alex, not fragmented, but whole, eyes alight, scars as stars. This is you, he whispered. The heart I see. They made love then, slow and sacred, bodies mapping forgiveness. Fall painted the leaves in fire once more. Their dual show announced to buzz. But as opening night neared, a letter arrived. Anonymous, postmarked Soho. Inside, a photo, Jordan and Marcus, entangled in a dimly lit booth months back, during one of Alex's upstate trips. Captioned, "Truth hurts more than paint." The betrayal landed like a freight train, shattering the fragile peace. Alex's hands shook as he clutched the photo, the glossy surface slick with sudden sweat. The loft spun, colors bleeding like a ruined canvas. Jordan's laughter from the kitchen a cruel underscore. Babe? Dinners. Jordan froze in the doorway, face draining of blood as he saw the evidence. Alex, that's not. It's old. Before us. Marcus set this up. His voice cracked, pleading, but Alex backed away, the image searing. Jordan's head thrown back in abandon, Marcus's hand possessive on his thigh. Old? Or just waiting? Alex's whisper cut deeper than any shout. He stormed out, the door slamming like a final brushstroke. The city swallowed him whole, neon veins pulsing under a bruised sky. He wandered aimlessly, from the thrum of Times Square to the quiet hush of the High Line, the photo burning a hole in his pocket. Betrayal wasn't new. His father's rejection had been its own slow poison. But this, from Jordan, the man who'd promised to paint him whole, it hollowed him anew, leaving echoes of doubt in every shadowed alley. He ended up at the Red Hook Gallery, empty now save for lingering sense of varnish, curling on the floor amid his own echoes. Sleep came fitful, dreams tangled with crimson slashes and accusing eyes. Dawn found him hollow-eyed, Jordan's texts a barrage. Please, coffee, truth, against better judgment, Alex met him at their old haunt, a greasy spoon in Greenpoint where pancakes drowned sorrows. Jordan arrived disheveled, shadows under his eyes like bruises. It was one night, he confessed over untouched mugs, voice low. After your dad got sick when you pulled away. I was scared, alone. Marcus was there. Familiar poison. Alex's jaw clenched, the timeline fitting too neatly with his absences. Familiar? So I'm the upgrade until the next muse calls. Hurt flashed in Jordan's eyes. Raw. No. You're the only one who saw me. All of me. I ended it before us. Swore off him. Words warred with evidence. Trust a thread frayed to gossamer. Why hide it? Alex pressed, fingers tracing mug rims like lifelines. Jordan leaned in, desperate. Shame. Fear you'd see me as broken. Not worth it. The admission hung, a bridge or a break. Alex wanted to bolt, to paint over the pain with distance. But love's gravity pulled. Prove it, he said finally. Cut him out. For real. Jordan nodded. Fierce. Done. Blocked. Blacklisted. Whatever it takes. They parted with a tentative embrace. The photo crumpled in Alex's fist. A talisman of trials to come. Rebuilding was excavation, unearthing buried hurts layer by layer. They attended couples counseling in a Chelsea walk-up, a no-nonsense therapist named Lena who wielded questions like scalpels. Betrayal's not the act, she said one rainy Tuesday. It's the echo. What does it amplify in you, Alex? He grappled, voicing the father's ghost, the fear of being too much or not enough. Jordan listened, then shared his own. The preacher's sermons branding him sinner, Marcus's manipulations a cycle he couldn't break alone. Sessions bled into nights of honest sketches, each drawing a confession, vulnerabilities traded like pigments. The dual show prep intensified, a crucible forging or fracturing them. Canvases multiplied, Alex's portraits gaining Jordan's bold strokes, Jordan's softened by Alex's nuance. Critics previewed, praising the seamless synergy, oblivious to the scars stitched beneath. But Marcus lurked, a specter in snide emails to Jordan's agent, anonymous tips to press. One afternoon, as they unpacked crates in the Tribeca space, a delivery arrived, framed gifts from Marcus. Altered prints of Alex's Red Hook show, faces smeared with mocking graffiti. Borrowed boy. Jordan smashed them in fury, shards glittering like rage. He's done, he growled, dialing lawyers. Alex watched, chest tight. Not just anger, but pity for the man so hollow he'd weaponize hurt. Winter's grip tightened, holidays looming like indictments. Alex's mother invited them upstate for a makeshift Christmas, the cabin half-packed for sale. Family heals, she said over phone static. Alex hesitated, the place a minefield of memories, but Jordan squeezed his hand. We'll face it together. The drive north was fraught, snow flurries blurring the windshield, radio crooning carols like ironic balm. The cabin greeted them with creaking floors and pine-scent ghosts. His mother enveloped them in hugs, eyes kind but probing. You too. You glow, she said over mulled cider, a quilt of approval draped tentative. Evenings by the fire crackled with vulnerability. Jordan sharing Alabama tales of fire and brimstone revivals. Alex reading aloud from his father's journals, entries of quiet pride in his son's art, buried under bigotry. He was learning, Alex murmured, tears hissing on embers. Jordan held him, steady. Like us. They made snow angels in the yard, laughter echoing like absolution. Jordan's kiss tasting of hot chocolate and hope. But midnight brought a call, Jordan's agent. Voice edged. Marcus leaked more. Old emails, twisted to say you're colluding on the show. Sponsors pulling back. The idol shattered, reality's chill seeping in. Back in Brooklyn, the storm hit full gale. Blogs erupted. Hale's heartstrings. Exploitation or evolution. Interviews requested. Jordan's inbox a war zone. He fielded them with clipped grace, but privately unraveled. Pacing the loft, whiskey glass trembling. I can't lose this, he confessed one blizzard night, snow lashing windows. Not after everything. Alex pulled him close. We won't. But fighting fire with fire burns us all. They drafted a joint statement. Honest, unapologetic. Inspirations shared, not stolen. Love is collaboration, not conquest. It went viral, supporters rallying with Art Loves Back, queer collectives amplifying their voice. Climax brewed in the show's eve. A private dinner for backers turned ambush. Marcus crashed it, tuxedoed venom, toasting with poison chalice. To muses who inspire and expire, gasps rippled. Alex's blood boiled, but Jordan rose, calm as a collected storm. Marcus, your games end here. Security. As he was escorted out, Marcus sneered at Alex. He'll break you too, pretty boy. It's what he does. The room hushed, eyes on them. Jordan turned to the table, voice steady. This show's not about breakage. It's mending what we owe each other. Applause built, tentative to thunderous, the moment alchemizing poison to gold. But alchemy's fleeting. That night, alone in the loft, Jordan broke, sobbing into Alex's shoulder, the weight of years crashing down. I'm poison, he gasped. Marcus was right. I twist. Alex held him fiercer. No, you're human. We both are. And that's the art, the mess, the mend. They wept together, purging the rot, emerging raw but rooted. Opening night dawned crisp. The Tribeca Gallery aglow with anticipation. Crowds swelled. Critics, collectors, queer icons rubbing shoulders with everyday dreamers. Alex and Jordan stood at the entrance, hands clasped, a united front. The pieces unfolded like chapters. Alex's solo works grounding the narrative, Jordan's echoing with harmony. Dual canvases where their styles danced, two hearts, entwined without erasure. A centerpiece, hidden heart, a massive diptych. Alex's side his father's cabin in twilight. Jordan's the Brooklyn skyline at dawn, bridged by a figure reaching across, hands open. Reactions poured. Gasps, tears, flashes popping like stars. A prominent reviewer pulled Alex aside. This isn't just art. It's testimony. Jordan overheard, eyes shining. Midway, Marcus appeared at the fringes. Uninvited, but subdued, face gaunt with irrelevance. He met Alex's gaze, a nod almost apologetic, before slipping away. No spectacle, just fade to footnote. As the night peaked, Jordan led Alex to a quiet alcove, a small canvas veiled. For you, he said, pulling the cloth. It was Alex, fully, fiercely. The Rochester boy with upstate shadows, the New York lover with city fire, heart bared in vibrant strokes, no fragments, no hides. The whole you, Jordan whispered. Alex's breath hitched, fingers tracing the lines. It's perfect. Their kiss was public, unapologetic, crowd be damned. A seal on survival. The show's success cascaded like dominoes in reverse, sold-out pieces, features in glossy mags, invitations to queer art panels across the coast. But acclaim's a double-edged blade. It sharpens scrutiny, amplifies echoes. In the afterglow, Alex and Jordan navigated the whirlwind. Interviews where they tag-teamed truths, photo ops with hands defiantly linked. We're not a story, Jordan quipped to a podcaster probing their drama. We're the authors. Laughter followed, but privately, Alex wondered. Could they write a future unmarred by past inks? Spring unfurled in tentative greens, the city shedding winter's skin. They traveled upstate for the cabin's final sale, turning it into ritual. Clearing attics, painting walls with memories, bold murals of intertwined figures, a gift to the new owners. His mother beamed, toasting with local cider. To new chapters, Jordan added, sly, and sequels. Alex chuckled, but the word lingered. Endings birthing beginnings, yet haunted by what-ifs. Cracks reemerged subtly. Jordan's rising fame pulling him to LA for a residency. Whispers of Hollywood biopics on his comeback. Alex stayed rooted in Brooklyn, his own commission stacking, portraits for a nonprofit aiding LGBTQ+ youth, faces mirroring his younger self. Distance tested them. Video calls glitchy with longing, texts laced with "miss you" mantras. "It's temporary," Jordan assured from sun-bleached beaches. But Alex heard the siren call in his voice, the allure of spotlights brighter than lofts. Betrayal's shadow stretched longest in solitude. One humid June night, alone with canvases, Alex unpacked the old photo. Marcus's parting shot, edges frayed from handling. It mocked him still, a reminder that trust is canvas, easily torn. He burned it in the sink, flames licking like accusations, but ash doesn't erase scars. Therapy helped. Lena's sessions now solo, unpacking the father's legacy. Rejection taught you to hide your heart, but hiding starves it. Alex nodded, sketching mandalas of release, colors bleeding freer. Jordan returned tanned and triumphant, tales of coastal queer scenes spilling over rooftop barbecues. They reignited, lazy Sundays in bed, sketching each other's sleep-soft faces, laughter reclaiming space. But fame's underbelly gnawed. Paparazzi snaps twisting their strolls into power couple tropes, fans dissecting their art for clues to the scandal. Jordan bristled at a gallery mixer, snapping at a probing journo. "Our pain's not your plot twist." Alex pulled him aside, calming. "Let them chase ghosts. We're real." The true climax crested in autumn. A national queer arts festival in San Francisco headliners them. Rehearsals hummed with harmony, their presentation entwined strokes, a live painting demo. 2 easels, shared model. A young trans artist sharing their transition journey. The crowd swelled, diverse as the Bay's fog, activists, elders, kids wide-eyed with possibility. Midway, as brushes flew in sync, a heckler rose from the back. Marcus, gaunt and wild-eyed, voice amplified by desperation. "Lies. Jordan's a fraud. Stole my ideas, my life." Gasps rippled. Security moved, but not before chaos erupted. Shouts. A shoved chair, the model freezing mid-pose. Jordan dropped his brush, face ashen, but Alex stepped forward, mic in hand. "This isn't about theft," he said, voice steady amid the storm. "It's about healing. Marcus, your hurt's valid, we've all been broken. But breaking others? That's chains, not freedom." The room hushed, Marcus deflating under the weight of witnessed truth. He was let out quietly, no spectacle, just a man unraveling in public. Applause built slow, then roaring, not for drama, but defiance. Jordan joined Alex at the front, their hands linking over pallets. "Together," he murmured. They finished the piece. The model, radiant, heart open like a dawn. Backstage, Jordan collapsed against Alex, tremors racking. "How do you know what to say?" Alex shrugged. "I painted it in my head 100 times." They laughed, raw, the bond reforged in fires after heat. Marcus's arrest followed. Stalking charges, therapy mandated. But it was footnote. Their story eclipsed it. Winter returned softer, holidays in the cabin. Now there's Unsold, a sanctuary reclaimed. They hosted his mother, Jordan's estranged sister flying in from Alabama. Bridges built over eggnog and easels. "Family's what we make," Jordan toasted, eyes on Alex. Laughter filled the rafters, ghosts exorcised. The ending unfolded not in grand gestures, but quiet profundity. One snow-glazed morning in the loft, Alex woke to Jordan at the easel. A new canvas, unfinished. Their future, sketched in hopeful hues. A shared studio by the sea, kids' handprints in paint. The heart, fully painted, no hides. "Your turn," Jordan said, handing the brush. Alex took it, adding his stroke. A vibrant arc bridging doubts. "Ours," he replied. Years blurred. Shows in Paris, books co-authored. A life woven from threads of trial and tenderness. Betrayals became backstory, conflicts compost for growth. They mentored young artists, voices once hidden now guides. Alex's portraits hung in museums, Jordan's in homes. Art as activism, love as legacy. In the end, humanism's grace. No perfect bows, but resilient arcs. They stood on Brooklyn Heights promenade at dusk, city lights winking below, hands entwined. Every portrait held a piece, Alex murmured, echoing the old ache. Jordan turned, eyes storm-deep. And now, the whole heart. Their kiss sealed it, romantic, real, enduring as the skyline. In America's vast canvas they painted on, hidden no more.